Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra, with me Shel Bhatnagar, and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. Well, not looking good on the Nifty right now. We are 400 points down, 23,600, and around that is where the Nifty is hovering. All the sectors of the Nifty have slipped into the red. So the index itself is down by 1.7%. It's the Nifty Bank that's dragging 2.2% in trade, almost 1148 points gone there. When we look at the broader markets, there is an over 2.7% cut on the mid caps, and the small caps are now down over 3% as well. PSU banks, over 4% of a cut being seen there. Realty, metals, you see across the board there is sharp fall and trade. All of the indices are down by over 1% for sure, barring the IT, which is down 0.2% right now. So that's the kind of setup that you're looking at. Only very few stocks on the Nifty which are hovering higher, which are just a handful. Apollo Hospitals, Titan, Tata Consumer Products and HCL Tech. Only 4 stocks on the Nifty are into the green, but rest of them have all slipped. Trent is down 4.8% as the top loser. Tata Steel is down 4.8%. Coal India, BPCL, NTPC are all down upwards of 3.5% each in trade right now. Even the PSU index is down by 3.7%. Let's get Shell on board. Shell does not look like a good start to this new week, which is going to be earnings heavy.
Yes, Monday is going to be a terrible day for the markets. They seem to have got off on the wrong side of the bed. 2,206 stocks are in the red versus 213 that are in the green. So it's an easy 1:10 favoring bears. All 19 indices that we track are down, and this time there is no safety. Losses are anywhere between 4.2% at the top end for PSU banks to Nifty Pharma index down 1.1%. So it's a day of heavy losses, and reasons are many. I mean, there are some people talking about the virus which was found in Bangalore impacting sentiment, but frankly it's just selling pressure that's coming in from foreign institutional investors. For the moment, it's okayish kind of a volume. Reliance 1500 crores, HDFC Bank 1300 crores, Infosys 1066 crores, and of course you have ITC today, a special situation, 830 crores. On the long side, you have ITI being the top traded counter on the National Stock Exchange, very heavy volumes, again 3839 crores traded. You have AG's Logistics 7% higher, 1682. Saregama 5.5% higher at 581, 570 crore volumes. But as Sakshi has been saying, there is absolutely no hiding place. You have 1 or 2 or 3 stocks which have shown signs of aggression on the long side, but selling pressure is daunting, and we still have about 1 hour to go, and this is not looking good ahead of the earnings. We're joined by Mr. Chokalingam, a seasoned individual in the market. He's the founder and MD of Economics Research. Namaste, Mr. Chokalingam. Happy New Year, but it doesn't look happy at all as far as the Lal Street is concerned. Your views on sentiment, sir?
Yeah, wish you Happy New Year. Of course, we have spent only 6 days of the year, so long way to go. Finally, the year 25 might end up with a positive note. That's my confidence. Unless war gets intensified or US President goes terribly against India in implementing protectionism measures, I don't think 2025 will disappoint the investors. I'm not overly bullish, but I expect 10-12% return overall for Sensex and Nifty. However, the pain would continue in the current quarter for a couple of reasons. One, the budget is there on February 1st. In my understanding, in the majority of the years, particularly when market is a little weak, the FIIs normally wait for budget presentation before they take a firm decision to make investments here. That is one reason. So they may not rush to India till budget is presented to make big investments. And second, across the world, the foreign investors always wait for stability of the currency when the local currency keeps depreciating. Unfortunately, almost every day marginally the rupee is depreciating. So they would wait for some firm sign that the rupee exchange rate has stabilized. And these are the two major reasons. And then you have the result season. It may not be great. It may be in line with September results, in the sense a lot of sectors in Sensex and Nifty may continue to post single-digit growth in terms of dollar revenue for IT or volume growth for auto. So considering these three reasons, I feel the we may have to see a lot of volatility with the downward bias in January, perhaps till March end. However, though on the one hand FIs are continuously selling, the retail investors are continuously pouring into the markets. In the last 3 weeks, around 27 lakh new investors have come in. So we all know they are investing directly also through a mutual fund. So that is why if you see the December ending, from the start of September, since September the market, particularly Sensex and Nifty tanked. So the small cap index has fallen least. So I still believe that in this current quarter also the small cap will perhaps outperform Sensex and Nifty, because when you have a 30-50 stocks in Sensex and Nifty and many sectors are having single digit growth syndrome, you have about 4,000 stocks in the small cap where there are a lot of unique stories in terms of growth, deep investment, deep land bank, and deep values and acquisition stories. So that is my position that yes, it's little concern today, the deep correction, but I would still remain very confident, and I would say that those who can take little risk and stay invested for minimum 1 year, this is a time to buy good quality stocks in the small cap space without compromising on the valuation comfort zone.
Okay, got that. Mr. Chokalingam, does today's fall have anything to do with the HMPV virus? Is there a scare that's really causing this downfall? There is a lot of nervousness amidst investors as to whether this could be COVID 2.0 returning with another virus causing that kind of a scare. Is there a worry like that? Do you want to get that out of the way for our viewers as well, sir?
I am not a scientist, but definitely I have a view as an analyst on this issue. Uh, you know, you look back 2020 March, we panicked and the index fell 34%. We lost heavily. But even when the second and third wave came, the market recovery from the bottom of March 24, 2020, nothing could stop it. Even delay in vaccination could not stop the recovery. So the point I am saying that the investors and also a majority of the public, they learn to live with this kind of shock coming from the virus. So we already have a solid evidence that we were able to live with this, particularly in the stock market. Yes, definitely, if it is worse than the COVID-19 and the fatality is huge, and it leads to the condition where people just once again cannot move out of the house and offices. Yes, it will have an impact. But the experience of 2020-21 and also the speed at which India developed the vaccines to tackle COVID fatalities, I believe we would be able to manage to live, and it will not affect the market and economy in a significant manner.
Well, this is getting to be more painful. Now 23,550 is at risk. We are down almost 1.8% on Nifty. What's worse, the Nifty 500 is down 2.3%, which essentially means that the broader markets are facing a very heavy sell-off. Ditto for Nifty Bank, which is a higher fall, 2.4%, and of course the PSU banking basket. This is rather strange because when you look at business updates given by PSU banks, they've pointed to a fairly robust picture, but selling is selling, and it's right there in front of us in terms of the washout that's happening. We had Mr. Jyotivardhan Jaipuria about an hour ago, and he was giving the analogy of the Indian cricket team. This looks like a batting collapse, and this is the first day of the week. It's pretty painful. Let's look at some volume buzzers, if there are any, on the green side, and similarly, if there are any volume buzzers on the red side, which are creating a lot of selling pressure. We'll shift to NSE 50 because that's where the pain is. Okay. There are just 5 gainers on the NSE Nifty. First, let us look at the losers. HDFC Life, 3% down, 200% 5-day average. Britannia, 1.1% down, 1.2% down, 200% average 5-day volume. Bajaj Finance, Hindalco. Hindalco in particular, 3% down and 150% 5-day average. Metals are worst hit. Tata Steel is down 4.7% and 130% is the 5-day average that's gone down. ITC, of course, is a special case. ONGC and Nestle are also down 2% each, and they have done 100% of their volume. So this is selling accompanied by volume. Let's get Mr. Chokalingam on ITC. So how do you see this demerger that's happened for the hotel business? Would you find value in ITC today 7% lower minus hotels? And what is your call on ITC hotels?
Yeah, the market is smart because hotel of late has been one of the most profitable business segments for ITC. So since that is hived off, ITC standalone, that is exclusive of hotel, it has been punished. But I definitely find some value because the agri segment, paper segment, quite volatile, but they always come back to growth mode for ITC. So the pain may not last for more than 1 or 2 quarters. And third, this cigarette division also, of late it has proven to be almost price inelastic. The demand is price inelastic. So whatever price hike, the volumes are remaining quite robust. And lastly, the FMCG others, there is a margin pressure, but the top line is growing. And so therefore, I find some significant value at ITC at 443. I believe it's a good buy at this price because I would assign for ITC hotel anywhere around 200 to 260 maximum. That was the 260, around 260 is the discount price, and that that comes to about 50 times EBITDA, EV to EBITDA, and that is a fair price if you compare with the Indian hotel and all. So therefore, if you deduct that to 26 rupees, ITC is punished much more, and therefore it's a good buy. And lastly, let us not forget the fact that ITC has got a highly profitable IT subsidiary, and I am sure ITC would help the shareholders the way it is doing it in the hotel business. One day, perhaps it can reward the investors in terms of even listing the IT venture or benefiting the shareholder in terms of direct participation in the IT. That's my just a visionary statement, not a forecast. So considering all this, I believe it's a good buy at the current price.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as ITC is concerned. Let us also look at some of the other pockets which are actually trying to buck the trend in an otherwise crashing market. Let's look at Sir, a Titan, for instance. That's holding up about 0.6% in trade today, despite this massive fall. What's your overall understanding on Titan right now? We've seen the gems and the jewelry space sparkle in 2024 with the gold prices surging to all-time high levels as well. Can it continue to outperform within the gems and jewelry space right now, even despite the surge that we've seen thus far?
Today it is outperforming, it's a surprise, but then in the short to medium term, I don't think Titan can outperform. It lost its growth momentum in bottom line. So when the profit is not growing substantially, the kind of PE multiple it commands now, I doubt whether it can sustain that. So I have a strong doubt whether it can outperform in the short to medium term. I would not give a recommendation on Titan.
2:47. We still have about 45 minutes, 43 minutes left for sales, but it's just quite a painful scenario in the markets. Actually, a lot of stocks are now 5% lower.
Yeah.
Look at IRB Infra, 6.2% lower, 56.55. Heavy selling pressure coming in on Jambal Fertilizers, 4% down. Hero Motors down 1.3. MCX down 5.5% at 5,800. Paytm now down 1.75. It was in the green in the morning. Jubilant Pharma 6.5% lower, 1,021. Glaxo 2.5% lower, 2,183. It's just as if it's accompanied by fairly heavy volume. So there is nothing much to talk about except sort of wait for this pain to sort of get absorbed by the market. 1193 points now down on the bank Nifty, 49,800 for you, 2.35% lower. This is getting to be fairly painful. Nifty IT index was up in the morning very smartly, and the intraday high was 44,331. We are now at 43,673. So that's almost a 700-800 point fall from today's intraday high. It almost sounds baffling, but are there any stocks that have hit record highs today? Well, they have. I don't know what's with ITI, but 17.5% higher. PTCIL 8.5% higher, 15,614. Apar Industries, Kims, these are the four that are still in the gains. But profit selling on Blue Star after a 10-day rally. Naukri and 361 also a fairly modest round of profit booking. Nothing much. I mean, investors shouldn't be really angry or pissed on this one. They've given very sound returns. Some of that money is now getting converted to cash. 2:50 p.m. Sakshi, we still have 30 plus 10, 40 minutes to go, and it's unrelenting selling pressure.
Correct.
A lot of scanners that I have are continuously showing stocks which are making intraday lows. So that's how it is.
Absolutely. Mr. Chokalingam, let's come to you with the space that's actually falling the least today, and that's the IT pack. Of course, IT will also be in flavor this entire week onwards because of the earnings that will kickstart as well. First up, what's your overall understanding of how the earnings may pan out for the IT space? And are there any preferred stocks within this space that you prefer because of expectations of better returns, better earnings than the others this time around?
Interestingly, in the last 2-3 years, the IT top line in dollar term is growing anywhere 3 to 4% only. But then we still saw huge swing downside and upside. I have seen in 90s the IT sector posting 30-40% year-on-year profit growth. At some point in time, it used to be even 50-60. Now, a lot of investors are divided. They feel happy, if 2% growth is upgraded to 4%. The point I'm trying to tell you is that the wealth creation story is over in the large IT stocks because this 3-4% top line growth in dollar term is going to stay here in the short to medium term. However, one can look at small and mid cap. If you see in the last 10 years, we have seen a lot of deals happening because the whole industry is struggling for double-digit growth and they were also sitting with a lot of cash. So we saw a lot of acquisition stories. So last 2 years, that has come down a lot, that acquisition. I believe now once again, that can get revived. So therefore, I have been suggesting small and mid-cap stocks within the IT space. One such stock I have recommended is Cyient. It is in terms of enterprise value to annual service revenue is very attractive at around 2.5 times. Many deals happened at around 3 to 3.5 times. And also one more reason is that for recommending Cyient, this company created the Cyient DLM subsidiary and unlocked significant money for Cyient itself. And now they got into semiconductor. They started a 100% subsidiary. They claim to have already some experience and exposure in semiconductors. So considering the fast track record, I believe Cyient can once again become successful in unlocking value through subsidiary route, that is semiconductor business. So considering both and considering the promoter stake too low at 28%, which is diversified across 12 entities, I believe that any consolidation happen outside Cyient also, that can be positive for Cyient, that can lead to re-rating of Cyient. So I have a very strong buy recommendation on Cyient.
Cyient at the moment trades 1740. 1748 today, 1.6% lower, and of course it's retraced quite sharply from its most recent highs of 2400, 2500. So let us see how it goes. But is this a dead cat bounce? Only time will tell. 23,540 was the most recent low on the Nifty. Now we are at 23,624. So a bit of a bounce happening. How long it will last, only time will tell. But let's just mark some interesting stocks for you. ITC 7.5% lower, but this is a special situation. Union Bank 7.7% lower. MCX HPCL 5% lower. JSW Energy, Adani Green dropping 5% each. Federal Bank down 4.5%. Trent, we've been marking this one slipping into negative territory, 4% lower, and a whole host of counters in pain. What's on the gain? It's barely, non-participating stocks like Metropolis Healthcare, Nykaa 2.2% higher. You have Tata Consumer. These are not names that one can take heart from for the market when they are in the green. Let's revisit the excuse me, advanced decline ratio. It was 1:10 when we started this show. Same, 2,200 shares in the red, 212 in the green. Sakshi.
Okay, got that. Let's again look at some of the other pockets then, which are looking interesting. Okay, let me just ask from the new age tech space from you, Mr. Chokalingam. Nykaa is showing a strong bounce after the business update came in for the company today. Do you find merit at all on FSN e-commerce 2.2% higher today, or do you still believe that this is a no-go area for the investors?
No, I always tell investors that you have to make a distinction between good company and good valuation. Yes, Nykaa is a good company. Rather, it's a great company the way they built it from the scratch. But is it a good valuation? I have my own doubt. This kind of P multiple if you are giving, I mean, I would expect the profit growth has to be more than 100% or 200% continuously, at least for 2 to 3 years. So therefore, I am not at all convinced about the current valuation of Nykaa.
Okay. Anything else within the new age tech basket that you would prefer otherwise, sir?
I should admit that I missed, this rally in many of these new age. So having gone wrong in identifying early stage, now I do not want to risk, after they rallied. So I would, maintain my conservative traditional approach and go back to, the value play or momentum play with some value, hidden in the company.
Okay, got that. Well, the mid caps are crashing further lower, 2.5% of a cut. Small caps are now down 3%, viewers. That's the kind of fall that you're getting at. There's absolutely very less to talk about on the positive zone right now. On the F&O space, Nykaa, Godrej Consumer Products, Metropolis Healthcare, Jubilant Foodworks, Dr. Lal Path Labs, Apollo Hospitals, these are the kind of pockets that are doing well. Healthcare pack particularly, Mr. Chokalingam, does it interest you? Hospitals, diagnostics, do they look positive at this hour?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the revival of this virus, one can look at hospital stock. That's why perhaps Apollo Hospital is very strong. But I have a coverage on hospital stock called Shall Be Limited. Shall Be Limited. It came out with IPO more than 6 years ago at around 249, much below the IPO price. I have been excited a lot by Shall Be Limited. It has got a huge number of hospitals across various cities in India, and outside India also it has got a network of hospitals. It has got a very good name in orthopedic surgery. And if you look at a enterprise value per bed, it's about 1.3 crore. Most hospital stocks trade at anywhere from 2 crore to even 8 crore per bed, enterprise value per bed. So therefore, I have been strongly recommending shall be limited, SHALBY, shall be limited. Just as a disclosure, we have also personally invested in shall be limited.
Fair point. What's in top shape within the hospital space is Apollo, now 1.6% higher. There's no point taking a technical view because the overall market is in so much of pain that it becomes a little difficult to sort of digest this. India VIX, Sakshi, is up at 15.71, and when you look at the percentage rise on India VIX, it's in high double digits, and that itself is what the markets are looking at. 16% higher on India VIX, and remember, this is the first day of selling. Let's look at the most recent low. I think it was on the Nifty 23,372. Let me just recheck that for you. Okay, 23,426 is what we hit on 31st of December. And before that, you have 23,227, which was the low for November. So already we are at a fresh January low, but that's immaterial because we have just 3-4 days of corrections. But this one's accompanied by fairly decent volumes. You know what's ironic? That the top 3 traded counters on the NSE are actually in the green, and they have nothing to do with broader markets. It's ITI, Aegis Logistics, and Transrail. Decent volumes, top show, and then starts the pain. Reliance down 2.5%, Bajaj Finance down 0.5%, HDFC Bank down 2.2%, Zomato slipping 2.5% lower, Tata Motors down 1.5%, ITC down 7%, and of course Infosys flat but still in the red. After these top 3 in terms of volume, you have 7 plus 7, 14 stocks that are in the red, and then you come to Saregama, 4.5% higher, 576. Fairly decent volumes. Top traded today, out of the 40 that I check, only 6 are in the green. Sakshi.
Okay. Well, Mr. Chokalingam, we'll thank you then for being with us on this edition today to share with us all your thoughts and ideas. Always a pleasure to host you. So thank you so much for your time. We will now welcome viewers, another guest on our show. We have Mr. Brijesh Singh, Opulent Investment Advisors, who's with us. Warm welcome to you, Brijesh ji. Good to have you with us. Tell us top 2 or 3 reasons why you believe the markets have fallen so much today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Regarding with the market, has been considered number one the rumor of that virus which has been floating. That is the one reason where always people feel that better to sit on the cash, even if they are having a stocks and in the loss, better to book and sit on the cash. That is one. Followed by the VIX part, already the volatility has been seen, and there is a sharp upswing was been seen last week, and after that on the Friday session we have seen some profit booking, and after that things have become, and I think even the US yields was been had moved up significantly. So overall the scenario of the market still trend looks weak. I'll just speak since the banking index has broken its important psychological support of 50,000 and was been trading below that level. So looking that part, जिसे बोलते हैं आग में घी का काम कर रहा है इस समय banking index. Right now the support for the banking index has been considered 49,500 to 49,600. Anything closing below 49,500 would be the giving invitation for 49,000, followed by 48,600 mark. Whereas on the higher side, it's been considered immediate resistance for banking indices 50,300 to 50,350. Regarding with the Nifty has been considered I feel like in coming days or in this week, we might try to retest the previous swing low of 23,267, or I would be saying if any closing below 23,500 happens, or if it breaks, then 23,267 or 23,300 would be coming in the play. Whereas on the resistance part has been considered, immediate resistance lies at 23,850 to 23,950 zone.
नमस्ते ब्रिजेश जी, स्वागत है आपका। किस हिसाब से आप HDFC बैंक के अपडेट को देख रहे हैं? यहाँ पर काफ़ी बिकवाली का दौर इस काउंटर की वजह से भी, हालांकि सुबह हरे निशान में खुला था, लेकिन अब आपके सामने HDFC बैंक ही आपको 21 नवंबर के लो के आसपास ट्रेड करता हुआ दिख रहा है, 1709। क्या कहते हैं आपके मीडियम टर्म चार्ट्स HDFC बैंक के बारे में?
इसी में वाली अगर एक ऐड कर दीजिए कोटक बैंक को भी, तो वो भी अच्छा रहेगा, क्योंकि जनरली यही दो बैंक के आजकल बातें हो रही हैं। तो HDFC बैंक के बारे में अगर हम बात करें तो डेली टाइम फ्रेम पे या वीकली टाइम फ्रेम पे अगर आप देखेंगे तो ट्रेंड हायर टॉप हायर बॉटम फॉर्मेशन में ट्रेड कर रहा था, लेकिन वहीं अगर स्विंग लोज को अगर आप कंसीडर करें और एक ट्रेंड लाइन ड्रॉ करें तो वो स्विंग लो ब्रेक कर गया है। दैट इज अ वन इंडिकेशन दैट की ट्रेंड वीक हो गया। दैट इज वन पार्ट। सेकंड पार्ट, कोई भी मूविंग एवरेज, शॉर्टर टर्म मूविंग एवरेज अगर आप देखते हैं 10 डे या 20 डे का मूविंग एवरेज, दैट हैव आल्सो बीन टिल्ड डाउन, वो इस समय साउथ की तरफ डायरेक्शन में कर रहे हैं। दैट आल्सो इंडिकेट्स दैट की ट्रेंड वीक हुआ है। ऑलरेडी फ्राइडे को भी ये मोमेंटम वीक हो गया था, फ्राइडे को ही उसने 50 डे मूविंग एवरेज के नीचे बंद दे दिया था। दैट वाज एन इंडिकेशन दैट वी माइट सी अ सेल ऑफ कंटिन्यूइंग। नाउ इमीडिएटली 200 डे मूविंग एवरेज एक है जनरली टेक्निकल के बिहाफ पे कि जहाँ पर एक सपोर्ट बनता है, दैट इज समवेयर अराउंड 1678 के अराउंड आता है। अगर उसके नीचे बंद होता है तो फिर 1630, 1620 would be coming in the play. Whereas resistance part has been considered 1745 is a immediate resistance. उसके ऊपर अगर सस्टेन होता है then only ट्रेंड आप कह सकते हैं कि ये सेलिंग जो है वो एब्जॉर्व हो गई है और दोबारा ये अप ट्रेंड ले सकता है। सो HDFC के लिए तो मैं यही कहूँगा कि कोई भी राइज समवेयर अराउंड 1725 अराउंड अगर आता है तो 1745 का स्टॉप लॉस लेके एक बार बेच सकते हैं, प्ले फॉर द टारगेट ऑफ 1678, and if it gives closing below that, then as I have said 630 would be coming in the play. Whereas Kotak Bank has been considered, no doubt कि आज के सत्र में अगर हम देखेंगे तो लगभग 3.12% डाउन है, बट अगर उसने एक बेस फॉर्मेशन बनाया है 1720 के आसपास में, तो मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि 1750 के आसपास में अगर ये ट्रेड होता है तो वहाँ पर एक बाइंग बनती है 1720 का स्टॉप लॉस लेके, ऊपर में टारगेट लगभग 1840 को आपको देखने को मिल सकता है।
Okay, got that. ठीक है, Brijesh ji, now tell us, have you spotted any stocks where there can be a hiding place in this market, or where do you think there can be the sharp turnaround can be seen once this volatility dies down? Any key stocks which are looking promising to you even in this market?
So actually, two stocks are there. One is Saregama. Saregama में 2 दिन से वॉल्यूम ब्रेकआउट भी देखने को मिला है, रेंज ब्रेकआउट भी देखने को मिला है, प्रीवियस स्विंग हाई के ऊपर चल रहा है, 571 के आसपास में ट्रेड हो रहा है, और इसका प्रीवियस स्विंग जो हाई था लगभग 530 के आसपास का था। तो अगर ये स्टॉक 550, 555 के आसपास में मिलता है, then one can take a buy call with the stop loss of 530 and then play for the target of 615 to 620 in coming days. टाइम फ्रेम को थोड़ा बढ़ा के रखना पड़ेगा, एटलीस्ट 2 हफ्ते का अगर किसी का है तो सारे का मैं प्ले आउट कर सकते हैं। दूसरा एक और स्टॉक्स जो वॉल्यूम ब्रेकआउट और जिसने कि ओवरऑल जो पुराने नेगेटिव कैंडल्स से जिनको कवर अप किया वो है थायरोकेयर। अगर आप देखेंगे तो लगभग 11-12% के आसपास में ट्रेड हो रहा है, हालांकि पिछले स्विंग को इसने ऑलरेडी टच किया हुआ है। 1055 का आज के सत्र में 52 वीक हाई भी वही है, बट ये लेवल पे बाइंग बनती नहीं है। मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि अगर 1000 के आसपास में अगर ये स्टॉक आता है तभी आप इसमें बाइंग करें, और वहाँ आप स्टॉप लॉस लगा के चलें 970 रुपये का, एंड देन प्ले फॉर द टारगेट ऑफ 1155 to 1170।
Look at the kind of selling that has happened on Blue Star. 5% lower now. Remember in the morning we were talking about a record high. And of course it was a record high, but this was after 10 days of sustained upticks that Blue Star has now succumbed to selling pressure. Look at Intellect Design, again a record high that has not been followed up, 905 down 2.8%. Crisil was also a record high last week, 3% lower. But on the uptick is Apollo Hospitals, erstwhile market favorite Linde India, the maker of industrial gases, up 7.5%, 6798. There's hardly any point to take a technical view on this because one day up, 2 days down, and then the whole sentiment collapses. So it's best just to mark stocks and keep quiet, wait for this pain to sort of rehabilitate and then move out of the system. There's nothing I can really point out. Kudremukh Iron Ore, this is a Sarkari company, now up 12.5%, but there's hardly any volume here. Sakshi.
Absolutely. Brijesh ji, can you tell us if Apollo Hospitals, the trend will continue 1.7% higher? Should one really look at this one, especially when we are talking about this virus and how it's gaining pace? Do you think such hospital stocks should be looked at?
See, trend has been positive, not looking with the virus content has been there, but
Yeah.
even if we look out the chart on a weekly time frame, already the stock had moved up from a swing low of 5,700, but there was a first swing low that was somewhere in the month of April 2024, and after that one swing came low was in the month of November 18, 2024. So higher tops and higher bottom formation has been there already, so that indicates the trend has been positive. Now looking the chart, and if this virus things been there, I feel that the trend has been positive. First of all, if someone wants to play long, and 7,100 is the support for a very short term trend has been considered, and some medium trend if I look out, then 6,900 is a support that should not be again broken. So 6,900 and 7,100 are the support, whereas on the higher side, the previous swing high of 7,545 that was made on 4th of November, if that thing breaks and if it moves up, so I feel that for a couple of month time frame holding, it has a potential to go all the way to 8,200 to 8,400 zone also. So overall trend look promising. 6,900 one can keep stop loss for a medium term trend has been considered, and then play for the target of 8,200 to 8,400 zone.
19 painful minutes still to go for Monday to draw to a close, but is this a start of a new selling round? Only time will tell, because this week we step into the quarterly earnings fairly soon. You will have TCS and Infosys reporting later this week, and God forbid if they are below even the most modest of market expectations, we are in for a very, very painful time. And this is happening when we have 19 sessions left for the budget. Nothing at all seems to be working on the budget side. Let me just mark some erstwhile winners. Swan Energy is now down 7.5%. SMS Pharma has lost 6.7% at 239. Mopen Labs from the pharma equipment side is down 6.5%. Lots of pain in quality stocks as well, where you see decent investors being stuck into. Anything that I'd like to mark on the long side? Okay. Auto ancillary company JTEKT India, 6% higher, 178. You have a strong move coming into RBZ Jewelers. This one I had marked earlier also, 5% higher today, 218. This is a supplier, an ancillary supplier to Titan. So about 30 to 40% of revenue of RBZ Jewelers comes from a single customer, that is Titan. So please keep an eye out on this one. What else is in the green? UPL, barely we talk about it now, 4% higher, 529.65. Nika Sakshi is marked. I'll put in Anthony Waste, 2.4% higher, 635. So there are dispersed pockets of excellence, but as a trend, the day belongs to the bears. Usha Martin, 1.5% higher, 370.45. And of course, PTCIL, this is a defense play now, PTC Industries Limited, now up about 15,795. Fairly decent volumes for PTC India. We barely talk about this multi-bagger, but it's doing immensely well.
Absolutely. Then let's look at some of the other pockets then. What's actually looking okay? Okay, we have some updates coming in. J&K Bank has come up with new updates. Total deposits up 9.6% year on year at 1.41 lakh crore rupees. Of course, the stock is down because the entire space is down, but the CASA deposits are up 4.39% at 67,888 crore rupees. And what we are also given to understand for this one in terms, I'm waiting for the loans figure to come in. Gross advances is up 5.8%, and gross investment is up by 26.7% right there. So those are figures coming in for J&K Bank right now. Okay, from the banking space particularly, Brigeshji, anything that looks positive amidst all the updates that are coming in? Have you been tracking any?
No, the trend has been negative, Sakshi. I'll say that better to go for a sell-off. If someone wants to go sell-off, then I'll say that State Bank looks weak to me. 775 around, it's been trading. So 780, if it trades any rise towards that level of 780 and above that level, one can take a sell call in it with a stop loss of 795 and then play for the target of 755, 760 zone.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as the banking space is concerned.
315.
Yes, sir.
315, Sakshi. I have nothing positive to say. If you have something, why don't you go forward?
It's a worsening picture. Now India VIX is up 16.2% at 15.7. So that's the only index that's been soaring higher, and all of the others have slipped further lower in trade. Even on the Nifty Next 50, we have only Godrej Consumer Products as one of the stocks that's up and about. Within the broadest index, again, there are very few and far between stocks that we can really talk about. Some of them we've already marked right there. Brijesh, anything within the FMCG pack that you like? Godrej Consumer Products, for instance, that's been hovering higher. What about Tata Consumers and some such stocks? Do you think those are something that one can look at?
So, trend for in FMCG stocks, Godrej or Tata Consumer has been there. I feel still the pain is can be seen more. Except one is Marico. Marico, it has a range. If I talk about 660, 665 on the high side, followed by 620 on the downside. So if someone wants to play FMCG sector, then Marico can be looked out. Not at present rate of 647, but if you trade somewhere around 635 and below, that one can take a buy call with a stop loss of 620 and then play for the target of 660, 665. Two stocks which are coming right now in the mind, not on this, that is Vijaya Dynasty. Just have a look. It has already made a support zone of 1014, 1020, and after that we have seen a pullback. And now it has been trading in 1127 around. So anything below 1100, one can take a buy call with a stop loss of 1020 and play for the target of 1180 followed by 1240. And there is one more counter which has already made the rounding bottom, that is Sunflag Iron. Now it has been trading at 300. So if you trade somewhere around 292 to 295 zone, one can take a buy call in it with the stop loss of 275 and then play for the target of 328, 335 zone.
Okay. Right. Let's then look at some of the other pockets then. What else can we discuss with Brijesh right now? Okay. IT pack for you, Brijesh ji, the one that is falling the least ahead of its earnings right now. Stocks like Emphasis and HCL Tech are still hovering higher, even though the rest of them may have slipped and given into the pressure in the markets. How are you really looking at the IT pack ahead of earnings? Are you creating any positions?
See, overall trend for the IT stocks, no doubt what you have said is right. But here I'll say that the stock which is coming in the mind is SCL Tech followed by the persistent. Now, if I talk about the SCL Tech, the trend has been promising with trading with higher top and higher bottom formation, previous swing low of 1860 around is a support. But use dip to go for a long, not at the present rate of 1950. If you trade somewhere around 1900 to 1910, then one can take a buy call with 1840 as a stop loss, and 2020, 2040 would be the target for NCL Tech. I'm talking with a very short term time frame. Persistent has been considered, not at the present rate to look buy, but if it trades somewhere around 6050 to 6070 zone, one can take a buy call in with a stop loss of 5850 and then play for the target of a previous swing high of 6800, and if it breaks, then 7100, 7200 will be coming in the play.
Hmm. 319. 11 minutes to go. Let me just mark some positives in the market. AstraZeneca, only on the pharma space is where you see some consistency and respect for quality by the market. 3.8% higher, 73.89. Concord Biotech, 5.6% higher at 2200. Concord is one of those quality products that is something that needs to be looked at for the long term investors. We have a price of 2140. 59 rupees is the uptick today, and of course anything else that I'd like to mark, maybe Granules India, but again 0.5% higher. Lal Path Lab 1.2%, 1.9% higher. So it's the hospitals and one or two ikka dukka pharma company plus chains that do tests. Look at Lal Path Lab, look at Metropolis here. So maybe the market is signaling something from the virus side rather than any shareholding. My apologies, rather than any other segment. So hospitals and detecting chains are gaining ground. That is not good news at all. There is pharma that is in the uptick, and rest of the market is suffering from a very, very heavy bout of selling. Reliance has already traded 1774 crore shares. HDFC Bank has traded about shares worth 1575 crores. Tata Motors has traded shares worth about 1300 crores. Infosys 1333, so on and so forth. So it's quite painful. Sakshi.
Yes, absolutely. 389 points of a loss. Right now, we are just above 23,600. Let's hope that this figure stays till the closing. About 8 minutes to go before we shut shop for the day. But it's definitely a very weak picture that we have. Let's look at any pockets within the broader markets that are still showing us some gains. Very few and far between. Some things that Shell has already marked, pharma, healthcare space, that's the only space where you're seeing some positives. Okay, we have SBI cards now that's moving up, so about 1% higher for this one. Brijesh ji, today there were brokerage houses reports that were giving higher targets for SBI cards. Do you think this is something that you will want to look at? It's been long since we have been really keenly looking at this space. Anything in the positive zone here?
So if I talk about The SBI card, it has already made a base at around 662 odd level, and after that we have seen a pullback in it. And in today's session, the candlestick formation is inward hammer pattern. So which indicates that 760-65 is a level which has to be crossed. No doubt the trend has been positive, but I feel if someone wants to take a long side in it, then 720 to 725 is the ideal level to go for a buy side with the stop loss of 705 and play for a target of 760. Any closing above 760, then the next level to watch would be your 802 or 805 odd level. So let it come another 10 points or 15 points down, so that your risk reward ratio would be in your favor.
Okay.
So sell-off of fairly proportions. The NSE 500, that's what I'm actually looking at more keenly than the Nifty. This has shown a 2.1% downtick. Let's look at the small cap and the mid cap indices. They are also in pain on the first day. Quite a serious bout of money being taken out. Look at the Nifty Next 50, 3.5% lower. Small caps and mid caps have been taken out by 3 percentage points each. The most aggressive index, Nifty Alpha 50, is down 4%. And of course, the pain is in the PSU basket, again 4% lower. So this is the start, a 2 percentage point uptick or downtick is the start of a new wave. The only issue that I see sort of favoring the markets on the right side is a modest, just nothing on the Nifty IT index, and the Nifty Pharma index is also not in much of a pain. But look at ITI, 20% higher, 548. New orders that have come in the recently past quarter are fueling this rally, but very, very dangerous to sort of even attempt an entry at these levels. Aegis Logistics, Equitas Small Finance Bank 4% higher, 69.36. Devyani International doing pretty well, 3.7% higher, 198. In the morning it had touched briefly a high of about 209, so that's also been washed out. RBL Bank 2.6% higher, and it's just either pharma or it's pharma ancillaries or hospitals and detecting chain companies that are up. It's fairly painful.
4 minutes to go. Rajeshji, anything that you'd like to suggest, either on the benchmarks level or on sectors and stocks that one could look at for the week to come, for the days to come in this week?
So yeah, I was just looking the 1 hour chart for the Nifty, and your low of 23,555 it has been made, and after that the next candle formation of 1 hour is like buying has been seen. So pullback can be seen tomorrow, but that pullback can be used to take a sell call in it or short in it. Resistance on a higher side would be 20,800, 850. Downside support, as I've said, 23,500, 23,300 are the level to watch for the Nifty has been considered. Regarding the stocks which we have discussed, like buying has been seen, Saregama look promising on the chart, Easy Logistics, but it is very easy to say and it's very hard to to buy in this type of market. So but डर के आगे जीत है, तो money management play out कीजिए, or whatever the stock we have discussed, one can look out on that.
Okay. Got that. All right.
Let's start wrapping it up, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Sakshi, go ahead. I have nothing to add.
Yes, Brajeshji, we will then thank you, and we hope that it does not get worse from here and it improves, but we'll have to keep our fingers crossed for that one. And of course, like Shell pointed out, we are hoping for at least earnings to come in stronger than expected, because only that has the immediate trigger to lift the markets from the current lows right there. So we'll leave you at that. So thank you so much for being with us, Brajeshji, today to share with us all those thoughts. We are hopeful of closing above that 23,600 mark. You know, we've come off the lowest point of the day, but it's been a painful one. All the sectors down. PSU banks down over 4%. That's the top most losing index today. 3.3% of a loss for the Nifty Next 50. Realty down by 3.2%. Small caps down over 3.2%. Metals down over 3.1%. Mid caps down 2.8%, oil and gas down 2.8%, autos, infra, private banks also down over 2% each. You have 1.5% loss, 1.7% cut on FMCG, consumer durables, and then you have about a 1.5% cut on the Nifty alone as well. IT and Pharma, IT down by 0.2%, but outperforming in the weaker zone when we talk about the kind of sectoral pain that we are seeing, only 0.2% loss, and Pharma about 0.8% of a cut. Apollo Hospitals, Tata Consumer Products, Titan HCL Tech. Top movers on the Nifty, the only ones that are closing into the green today, viewers. On the lower end, Tata Steel down 4.5%, Trent down 4.5%, BPCL Coal India, NTPC as those stocks which are declining. 3.5% cut even for the PSE index. So oil and natural gas, HAL, Power Grid, IRCTC, Container Corp, all of these stocks are actually in deep pain. In the F&O space as well, you have Union Bank, ITC, SJVN, MCX, they're all down 7 to 9% in the F&O pack. But what's still held up is Nykaa, FSN E-commerce, Godrej Consumer Products, Metropolis Healthcare and Apollo Hospital as the top few movers as far as the F&O action is concerned. Broadest market, of course, you did see ITI again on a 20% circuit, outperforming the index and continuing with its strong trend. You have PTC Industries 7.6% higher, 15,500, very strong move on this one. Then you also have stocks like Bartronics, maybe Thyrocare Technologies, as some of those stocks that are also pulled up in the broadest index. Some of those names that we rarely discuss in trade that are up and about. But in the broadest index, what's down is again some of those textile stocks that were hovering higher. So Sri Aram Silk is down in trade today. Then you have stocks like Premier Explosives, Vakrangi, Uma Exports down in trade, anywhere between 7 to 9% in the broadest index as well. With that, 376 points of a cut on the Nifty, 23,628. We'll wind up at that, but hopefully that things turn for the better tomorrow onwards. But it's clearly the HMPV virus that's definitely been behind the key fall today. Investors have lost nearly 11 lakh crore rupees, with the BSE market cap having cracked by that much in trade today. And one will also wait to watch how the global cues also shape in, because that will also provide us some cushion, if at all it is on the positive side, when we open up tomorrow. With that, viewers, we wrap up. Many thanks for tuning in. Do stay tuned on to Business Today. There's a lot more to catch up even beyond the market hours. With that, it's a goodbye for now, at least from both Shell and me.
आपदा नहीं सहेंगे, बदल के रहेंगे. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday